Well, good afternoon. We had kind of a tragedy around here. There's this local DJ what likes to interview people at the car show. There's more pick-me-up trucks there than there was car shows, and she had this list of fellers. They like to talk to her. She's a real good DJ. She's cute too. She ain't as ugly as that one they had before. They called her. They called her. They called her lots of things. I can't say it on the air. And she was a nice lady. She just had warts on her nose and her ears, and her eyes was kind of lopsided. It could have been fixed with surgery, but she said, I like to look natural. And I think, well, that's kind of like looking at a wrecked pickup truck what been hit by a freight train and say it's natural to look like that, lady. But anyway, I digress. So she was interviewing these things about their pickup trucks and what they did with them. One feller had a pickup truck from 1955. I think it was a Chevy. And another fella had a pickup truck from 1955, and it was a Ford. And they was arguing before they came on to talk to her to get on the air. And they argued and argued, and they finally agreed. They wore each other out. And by the time they got up to talk to her, they were so worn out, they just hung their heads down and couldn't say nothing about their trucks. There's this other fella after them. He had the most new expensive pickup truck you could buy. I think he spent $150,000 on it, which I think is too much for a pick-me-up truck. But anyway, he was sort of odd, and I was watching him because I know this DJ real well. And he was digging into his shorts with his hand. And when he pulled his hand out, it had some color on it didn't have before. And there was this hound dog that one of the fellows had from the 55 Ford that was sniffing around him a lot and acting real excited and started licking his hand and then made himself a face. And this DJ likes to shake people's hands and give them a hug. And I made a timeout sign to her like this, like they do in football games when there's something wrong they got to fix. And she was trying to ignore me, and then I finally couldn't help myself. On live air, I said, if you shake this man's hand, you need to be wearing a hazmat suit and have a gallon of Lysol to pour off yourself. And then they cut her off the air right then, and I got chewed out. Even though we was friends, she did not like me talking about one of her interviewees smelling like that. Well, anyway, I walked away kind of morose. He came over, and he had the other hand in there digging around, and it had color on it, and she saw it. And she's a real delicate soul, and she spewed up lunch, breakfast, and several other meals she'd had. So it was a disaster. So it just goes to show you, if you're going to be interviewed, keep your hands outside your pants and make sure that you're clean down there, because it could lead to a catastrophe. I'm real serious about this. Thank you very much.